So today we're speaking with Felix, who's actually pulling in 10 grand a month serving golf clubs. And once again, this is just a perfect example of the fact that you should look outside of the standard couple of niches, because it is very easy to ramp up and scale up and bring on a considerable amount of clients when you're looking at some of these untapped niches. So yeah, big congrats to him. He's doing around 10 grand a month and very, very quickly scaling up. So with no further ado, let's get into it. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another student interview. We are joined here today with Felix, coming to us from Germany. Whereabouts in Germany are you from?
In the south of Munich, actually.
Nice. He's working with 8 clients at the moment. Very interesting niche, but I'll let you go ahead and then tell them about where you are with your agency.
Yeah, sure. So I started my agency like last year ago, but it was a rough start. So I had like the first client in August, and we didn't get great results. So it was like maybe 15 leads for for 2 months, and the client wasn't happy about it. And then in December, I decided to join AI. And after that, everything went up. I mean, like I had consistently meetings. My first client came in February, so like 8 weeks later. And from there on, like every month, a new one came up, and the results are booming right now. It's like incredible. And yeah, so right now I'm working with 8 clients. Like everybody is, likes what I do, and here we are.
Amazing. So, yeah, how did you get involved with the niche you're in?
Actually, I started playing golf like by myself 3 years ago. And then I was figuring it out because everybody was telling me about, yeah, pick your niche, don't go for everyone. And I was like, okay, I don't want to do like the regular stuff everyone is doing, like the fitness studios and real estate or something like this, or e-com. Maybe like the retainers aren't that high in local lead gen, but actually I felt like, okay, I never heard of someone who's working with golf clubs. And so I said, like, why not? They also have, like everybody, a decline in memberships. So they really need someone who helps them with advertising. And yeah, so I decided to do it, and now everybody's happy and runs perfectly.
That's awesome. So in terms of golf clubs, like what sort of ads are you running, or how are you bringing people through the door?
Yeah, sure. So I started with a free training, or 1-2 hours training with a golf pro. So we really tried to get new ones involved, which also never thought about maybe playing golf. And they see like how fun it is, and then that it's not like just the sports for old men. And and it's not that expensive either. So just check it out, and then they see, okay, it is fun. Like, what are the fees? What are the conditions? And then they are doing, because in Germany and Austria, I don't know if it's like in the UK as well, everybody has to make like a golf license before they are allowed to play. It's like a driving license for golf. And after they have to be a member to play at a golf course. And so we start like with this middle, like a trap wire, and get them on board with like the 19 euros offer. And yeah, the goal is of course to get them sign up a membership.
That's awesome. So how long were you running your agency until you pivoted to the golf niche?
I actually started like just 1 month, and then I really tried to get into one niche. So I really started directly with one niche, and from there on, as I said, like the first 6 months, I thought like, okay, is this the right thing? Because and also, is it the right niche? Because I couldn't like get results from anybody else. Like, it is working and something like that. And yeah, then I saw it myself like this year in the beginning of February. Of course, a little break with from COVID from March to May. But since then, like it's better than ever. And yeah, they get in like leads for like less than 10 euros, and that's amazing.
That's awesome. So in terms of retainers, what sort of retainers can you charge them? What's the sort of boundaries?
Yeah, so I at the moment I'm between like 1,000 and 2,000 a month per client, and this is working pretty good because there's always a difference between some golf. Okay, first let's get some reviews, let's get some work done, because I also wanted to experience myself if the things that I'm trying to sell are working. And so yeah, like I think in average the 1,500, and maybe next year a little bit more.
Okay, that's awesome. And you're signing clients on 3-month minimums?
Yeah, I got that from you.
Good stuff. And usually, one thing I do actually have a question about is, because I always have this issue with my German clients, is there something weird with your guys' banking system and like credit cards? Like credit limits are like super low.
Yeah, they are super low. I got my credit card and it was like 1,000 or 2,000 in the beginning, and you have to stack it up immediately.
Yeah. So, are you able to auto bill your clients?
Yeah, I do it with like Go Cardless. So they just have to give me their IBAN, and then I can get it from their bank account every month.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, so that's just something to note for all you German people watching this is, because as I said, I always have that issue where they're like, look, our credit card only allows us to process like 3,000 a month or 4,000. And these are like multi-7-figure-year businesses. I'm like, what the fuck? So they're like, sorry, we need to use this for like other stuff. So we'll wire transfer you. And that's like, I hate that more than anything, but yeah, that's just, I guess, one of the things I've had to deal with working with German clients. So you're working with 8 clients at the moment. Are you delivering all the services yourself, or do you have a team? Or
So I have a contractor right now. My first one. I started to do it myself because I also wanted to have the experience. How is it to run ads? And it also makes a lot of fun. And then I brought him on board when I got my 4th client, and he's actually right now in a testing mode. Like I'm giving him one client, he's supervising and running the ads for him. And if he's doing great, like he is so far, and he's also that was the thing that was important to me. He's a golfer himself. He's passionate about it, and maybe he's like the one I can work with in the future, and maybe he can like handle several golf clubs as well.
That's awesome. So, what does a normal day in your life look like as an agency owner?
Yeah, so pretty. I think organized all the time. It's always the same. I stand up like around 7:30, get a shower, coffee, little breakfast, and then I directly, after 15 minutes or 10 minutes of meditation, I go into work, because I think like the first 4 hours of the day are like the most productive. I try not to look at my phone. It's switched off, just using it for calls and stuff. And then I really do like 4 hours of work, starting with checking the ads, doing emails, having my sales calls also in the morning, and then outreach. Like every day is outreach, and I think this is also the most important stuff for every beginner in the agency niche, because you just can work when you have clients. And then after lunch normally, because I'm still going to your university on the side, maybe do some 1 or 2 hours for university, and other way I do like gym, sports, or go on the golf course for a round.
That's awesome. Do any of your clients give you free membership?
Not yet, but when I go to them, I can go like without paying a green fee or something like that. And also I'm trying to get some golf shops on board, and they offering me some gadgets and something like that. This is great stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you mentioned there that you're still going to uni.
Yeah.
How much longer do you have, and kind of what's your thought process with uni?
So
you just want to see it through?
No, it's like I'm in my 4th semester now, and I'm probably finishing next semester, because I did it really quick, studying international business administration, and I thought like, okay, maybe in the beginning I was like, this is my plan B, but now that I see like it's running, it's perfectly fitting, I just said, okay, let's finish it, and then I go further. I wanted to visit a new city, wanted to live in a new city, but actually I always say you can do it both. Like, I mean, I'm the perfect example. It's working. So you just have to commit yourself, and do whatever you like, and then it will work, I'm sure.
For sure. Yeah. And I mean, at the end of the day, like people, you have 24 hours in a day, you sleep 8, you have 16 left. And at the end of the day, I think you have between 4 to 7 hours of good, proper work you can do. After that, your mind's fried. If you're doing actual deep focus work, as you said, where your phone's somewhere else, you've got your blockers on, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, of course you can manage both. You know, there's definitely more than enough time in the day. So between those 8 clients, you're pulling in what, around 10,000 a month?
Yeah, like roundabout. I'm almost at it. I'm trying to get one more on board, and because now it's like coming the winter break, this is the only thing in the niche like that you have in Northern Europe that is from October to March. There, literally, you have no clients at all. But I try to like expand to the southern in like Spain and maybe also to South Africa and stuff, so that I again can get like new clients in the winter break as well.
For sure, for sure. So what purpose does your agency serve for you in your life? Is this something that provides some supplementary income? Is this something you want to, you know, after university go like full time with? Is this just a stepping stone to something else?
Yeah, I mean, like, of course, the money is great and stuff, but I always, and this was my first thought about it, is like the freedom you get from it. Because I never was the guy who was sitting behind the desk and getting yourself orders or ordered around. Because I also like started with 15 or 14 like to hand out newspapers and stuff, and I also was like able to select the time when I wanted to do it. So I never had to be at the exact time at the exact same place. And this is like the most important thing, that you can go around, see the world, and still work with a great income. And that's it, because I mean, like, there's so much to see in the world. Still want to do it, and I think that's the perfect business model for it.
What's the thing you hate most about agency life?
Great question. Never got that. The most is, I think, sometimes that it has a bad reputation, because everybody's trying to do it and saying, hey, I have my own agency, and everybody's looking like, okay, this is another one who is like just dreaming big and something like this. That's maybe the most, but I always say like, hey, really, you see the results, the things are working. They have like the best results ever in 10 years. And so they are very thankful that we offer these services. And yeah, I think if you really are passionate about it and really think like this could work, then it's a great business model. And yeah, that's it.
What was your lowest low as an agency owner?
The lowest low actually was the time between August, so after the first client, because it was like, okay, after 3 months I closed my first client, and then it took me about like November, December, January, February, about like 5 months to get another client. And it was like, okay, you're doing 20 cold calls or cold emails a day, and there's no response at all. It's like, okay, is this really working? But as soon as the moment came and I signed up my second client and then my third, it was like just running like up to the 4 months 4 clients a month now. And I think the hardest step is to get your first client with great results. And whenever you achieve that, then everything is good.
So once you got your second client, you followed very shortly after with your third and fourth and fifth.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it always comes back to what I say: when it rains, it pours. Both negatively and positively. Between my first client, August of 2016, and my second client, beginning of March or end of February. No, it's beginning of March of 2017. So that's what, like 6-7 months or
it's
something
like the same. Yeah, the same.
Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, and it's just, and then within by the time I got my second client, I got 3 clients within a week. And it's always the same thing, you know. And I have, you know, people even ask on the Q&A calls or whatever, like, oh, what am I, you know, I've done this, what am I doing wrong? And I'll look at the numbers, I'll look at the amount of meetings they've had, I'll look at how they've qualified the leads, dig into a little bit more about the prospects and whatnot. And sometimes it comes down to like, no, you've done everything right. It's just, you got to get luck on your side. And there is a part of luck, and there's a part of timing, and there's a part of, you know, my motto, which is when it rains, it pours. And, you know, when you hit, you know, when you get that win, most of the time there's a few more wins coming very shortly after. And I think you mentioned something very important there, which is not only when you get that first client, but when you get that first client that you get results for. So what did that do for your confidence when you not only got a client, but then got them results?
Yeah, I mean, this was the moment I always was waiting for, because as I said, like last year, I worked with one client and didn't give him results. So I was like, is this really working? And so I was like relieved as I started the new campaigns for the second client, and I brought in like really in the beginning for 8 years a new lead. And then you gain, as you said, like confidence, and whenever you talk to a new potential client, you know exactly what they are looking for, how much you can generate them also. Because if you can say, hey, for every 10 euros I give you a new potential interest on the golf course, he's like, okay, let's do it. And I mentioned this in the agency incubator group, like I think 2 days ago as well. As soon as you can give some good reviews, I mean, I work with several, like one of the best golf clubs in Germany already. And if you say this to others, it's like, oh, wow, he's working with them, giving great results. Yeah, let's try it. I mean, 3 months minimum is perfect. I always say, like, why do I do this 3 months minimum? Because on the one side, 1 year contracts or seasonal contracts, they are too long and they have to invest too much money because it's a topic they are not that familiar with. And on the other hand, like 1 month is too less, because you just have to collect a little bit to adapt and optimize on these running these ads. And so I think like the 3 months minimum is a perfect choice.
That's awesome. So yeah, dude, that pretty much wraps it up in terms of my questions. Unless there's anything else that there's one thing. Outreach, what's working best for you?
Yeah, outreach, definitely cold calling. So for the local lead gen, I think it's perfect, because you can easily find their number. Of course, you should try directly to come to the decision maker. Everything else doesn't work. But yeah, I did or still do 20 cold calls a day. This is like a habit. It should become a habit, I think, because if you do this like every morning, you love to do it. It's fun. And always like my tip is learn how to sell, because if you can't sell, you can be the best advertiser in the world. You still need to get on some clients. And yeah, whenever you get a client, reward yourself with a little present or something to create a momentum. This is like my best thing always, because to every client I have a little, let's say, gift I made myself, and I can
give me some examples.
Some examples. I'm wearing them right now that you would love. Wait a second.
Hey, the best shoes on earth.
Yeah, man, I really got them from you. You sold them to me, literally.
The best shoes on earth. The best shoes on earth. So those are Lanvins, and basically the story about them. I'm super into my shoes and whatnot, but those were never really on my radar. And I remember one day I was wearing Axel Arigatos, which are another really, really good brand for pretty cheap. Like you think you get Axel Arigatos for like 180 pounds or something like that. And I was with one of my old clients, and this dude's just like mega wealthy. So I was with one of my old clients at Soho House. And we were just having a catch up, and he was roasting me for my shoes. He's like, oh, they're just a copy of, he was wearing his, he had like a burgundy pair. And then my watch dealer, once again, super, super successful dude, older guy, he had a pair. And like as I started noticing them, like your reticular activation starts focusing on, I'm like, every single person I know who's like, not like rich, but like wealthy has a pair of those. And I was like, yo, these are fire. So now I have like 3-4 pairs. They're like the best shoes ever.
I mean, they're great. You said it like, no, go for it.
Last thing is, what sealed the deal is I saw there was Tony Robbins released a 10 things he can't live without. Like if he could only have 10 items, and those shoes were on there. He's like, these are the only shoes I wear. If you notice him on stage, those are the only shoes he wears.
No, I mean, like they're perfect. As you said, you can wear them up, you can wear them down. They're classy. They're like casual. I don't want like something fancy or something like that. And all black is always good, in my opinion.
Yes, sir. I approve. Very, very good pair of shoes. Anyways, dude, I I appreciate you coming on. I think we're back. I appreciate you coming on, sharing your
Thanks for having
insights.
me. Thanks for having me.
It's been very, very punctual and straight to the point, but I would expect nothing less with a German. So yeah, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, there you're right, man. There you're right.
Really appreciate it, dude. Cheers.